Welcome back, class, and this is our practice session that we're going to be using to calculate angles by using the rules that we've learned from our previous video. Right, what we're going to be doing first is to calculate some of the interior angles of this shape. Now, it looks pretty complicated, but it really isn't that difficult. Have a look carefully. The first thing I'm going to do is count how many sides I have. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I've got 7 sides. Now I want to find out what do the interior angles, this acute, that reflex, that acute, that obtuse, another acute, another reflex, and finally an acute. I want to know what do those 7 angles add up to. Now we know that a four-sided shape or a quadrilateral, its interior angles add up to 360 degrees. I also know that for every side that I add, I've learned that, I'm actually adding a straight angle or 180 degrees. Now I am adding 3 sides. So I'm adding, sorry, that shouldn't be an equal, I am adding 3 sides, or if you will, I'm adding 3 times 180 degrees. So if we do that maths quickly, we multiply them. 0 3s are 0, 8 3s are 24, and 1 times 3 is 3, plus the 2 I've carried is 540 degrees. So of my 360 degrees that I have for 4 sides already, I am now adding another 540 degrees. So what will the interior angles of this shape add up to? The 360 degrees of a 4-sided quadrilateral plus the extra 540 degrees coming from my 3 sides that I've added, which should give me a total of, carry my 1, 900 degrees would be my answer for this one. I'll look at my next 2 problems that I've got. If you can remember, this should remind you, let's go for a different color, of our complementary angles here. I'm just going to shorten it, and some more complementary angles here. This one looks a little bit different. We haven't studied it. It looks pretty complicated, but believe me, it's very, very easy. You'll see when we get to it. Let's look at this first one here. Yeah, we have a straight line going across. What's important is this little clue they've given us. If that is 90 degrees there, then that means this angle here must also be 90 degrees. So this 90 degree angle is made up of angle A plus 35 degrees that they've already given us. So how do we know what angle A is? We simply subtract the 35 degrees from our angle, our 90 degree angle, and we know that angle A will now equal 55 degrees. That's very easy to work out. Look at this, the same again. We've got a 90 degree angle here, which means this is 90. But now this angle here has to be divided up into 1, 2, 3 equal sized angles. How do I know they're equal? Because they're all labeled with the same letter. This is very important in geometry. If the letters are different, it means the angles are different sizes. If the letters are the same within one geometrical shape, it means that the angles are also the same. So we've got a 90 degree angle. It has been divided into 3 equal angles. So therefore, we can say that each angle is 30. So angle B will therefore be 30 degrees. Very simple. Let's move on to our supplementary angles. If we look at our supplementary angles here, Very simple. Again, we know that this is a straight angle of 180 degrees. We've already got an 80-degree angle, so we subtract that, and that will leave us with angle Y being the size of 100 degrees. Very, very easy. Supplementary angles are actually the easiest of the lot to solve. Moving on, we now come to our two lines, straight lines that are intersecting each other or crossing each other. When this happens, we call them vertically, I'm just going to shorten it, opposite angles. These are called vertically opposite angles. And our rule says that vertically opposite angles are equal. So if that angle there is 15 degrees, then angle G must also equal 15 degrees. Very simple. But if we look now, we've got a straight line here. See that? Ignore this part. Let's get rid of that. Forget about that for now. If we look at the straight angle, we've got 180 degrees. Here we've got two supplementary angles, angle H and angle G. And if angle G is 15, then angle H must equal 180 degrees minus the 15 degrees for angle G, which should give me 165 degrees. So angle H is equal to 165 degrees. And if angle H is 165, angle I over here is also vertically opposite to angle H. So angle I should also then equal 165 degrees. Very simple. Moving on to our next one here, we've got our, coming on to, let me get a different color, where we now have angles inside or across parallel lines. The first one we're looking at are our, remember, co-interior angles. And that says that they add up to 180 degrees. That's what that rule says. You can see there's there are our two parallel lines, there and there, and the angles here on the inside of those two will equal 180 degrees. So angle K plus the 40 degrees here that was given to us must equal 180 degrees. So therefore it's very simple. We subtract 40 degrees from the 180, so angle K has to be equal to 140 degrees. Easy one there. Looking at the next one, where these angles, oh sorry, let me just get my color, are now called corresponding angles. Alright, corresponding angles. I'm not going to write the whole word to save time. That means they are lying on the same side of these two parallel lines. And corresponding angles, our rule says, are equal. So if this angle here is 40 degrees, then angle M has to be equal to that. Very easy, this one. Angle M, therefore, also equals 40 degrees. Looking at our next one and our last one here is, I'm going to get my red color and a nice thick one. Before I get my thick one, we're looking at here, we've also again got our two parallel lines, and we're looking at what we call, these angles are called alternate angles. I'll write the whole one down here. And alternate angles are also equal, our rule says to us. So what we must remember to look for in alternate angles is our Z shape. Well, there we go. This is very difficult to draw. Alright, there's our Z shape. And if we're looking at our Z shape, we've got two angles here. We've got a 40-degree angle and we've got angle P. And because they're equal, if that angle there is 40, then angle P over here also has to be 40 degrees. Right, now we're going to give you a challenge to do, and this is our next one. Don't get a fright, and this is the challenge that I'm going to ask you to do. What I would like you to do is to pause the video, all right, and to try this challenge. But very important, you've got to write your answers down on a piece of paper, and once you've written them down, you can, after 30 seconds, the answers will follow. Check your answers. I'm sure you're going to do very, very well. What is very important to remember, let me just give you a quick tips here, or clues. Look at the clues that have been given. We've been given a 70-degree angle. All right. You've been given that 70-degree angle. You've been given parallel lines. Those two are parallel, and those are parallel there. You've also been given another 60-degree angle, and you've also been given a 90-degree angle. So those are all clues that are going to be very important in solving angles O through to angle Z. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly erase these lines here that I've given you so they don't confuse you, and then you can continue, and hopefully you're going to be doing very, very well with it. I'm pausing now. Just remember to take a careful look at your clues. As you find one angle, look for the easiest ones. As you find one angle, the other one, that angle will lead you to find another one and another one. Don't give up. Remember, many of your rules, you've got 9 or 10 rules that you can use. Just follow the rules, and you need to know what to look for. That is the trick. Right, here are the answers, and I'm sure most of you did very, very well with this one. I'm sure you did well. Let's just quickly go and have a look at why these answers are what they are. Angle P being 70 degrees. Remember, these are vertically opposite angles. Angle Y, you can find here, would be supplementary to angle P. Those two together add up to 180 because they lie on a straight line over here. Same with P and Q, they lie on a straight line. If you look at angle, if you have found angle Q, then angle T should be easy to find because of your Z shape here between these two parallel lines. So T and Q are equal. If you have found T and you've got P and you've got 60, you can add them up. Then O, you need to add to get to 360 because these are the interior angles of a four-sided shape. Once you have O, you can find this missing angle. They are supplementary, they lie on the same line, 180-degree line. Once you've got that angle, you've already got Y. You can work out what Z is because they are the interior angles of a triangle that add up to 180 degrees. Angle S is opposite to angle Q. It would be equal because this is a parallelogram and the opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. We didn't learn that now, but that is very, very simple. Angle W would be supplementary to angle S. All right, angle U, again here they are co-interior angles, S and U. So S plus U must equal 180. U and X again are supplementary. They're lying on one line, 180-degree line. If you have found S, you can find W. That angle we know is 90 degrees because this one is 90 degrees. So W plus 90 plus V will give me 180 degrees. And hopefully you've used all your rules well, and I trust that all of you got all of these right. If not, don't worry, go back, try it again, and I'm sure you'll be 100%.